So, should I file for bankruptcy? No. No. I mean, why? Why do you want to do that? Why? Why do you want to do that?
And another woman that can take your spotlight. If I wrote you a symphony, just to say how much you mean to me, what would you do? If I told you you were beautiful, would you do?
All jokes aside, if you are actively considering bankruptcy, this is not where you okay, let me tell you, listen, I've been there before. I've done it before, and I'm never going to recommend it. I don't care what, no. I do understand that there are certain instances where it just kind of comes to that, and you got to do what you got to do. Because stress with, like, it ain't nothing like the stress that comes with money and the lack of it and owing debt. Oh my gosh. So if you are actively, like, seriously considering bankruptcy, you need to consult with a lawyer. You need to be consulting with an attorney. You don't need to be over here listening to me tell you why you shouldn't do it just based on my experience with it. Like, I'm gonna give, like, it could help this, it could do that. But for me personally, I'm not gonna be like, yeah, guys, go file for bankruptcy. You know, if you got a headache, file for bankruptcy. Kids getting on your nerves, go file for bankruptcy. Behind on car payments, gas too high, file for bankruptcy. In all seriousness, if you're actively considering filing, please go consult with a lawyer, like, seriously, because they will be able to tell you based off what you're going through, which chapter is better for you, better than I can, okay? Because, like, it's really a serious thing, and in some ways it can be beneficial, and not just from, you know, I don't have to think about this, but from an emotional standpoint, like, I could tell you firsthand that even though it's one of my biggest regrets, because I was only 26 years old, and I'm just like, why didn't I just give the car up? Because I filed to keep my vehicle from being repossessed. But looking back, I really wish I just would have let the car go, let it get sold. And the car was pretty brand new. It was only a year and a half old. It would have sold probably for what the car was like. It would have sold, and I probably wouldn't have owed nothing. You know, opposed to doing that, watching my credit score tank, having to go through that whole embarrassing process, being the youngest person in the meeting of creditor meetings or whatever. I was the youngest person in the courtroom. Then you got to go to the front of the court, sit down, say your name, talk about your debts in front of a room full of people. Bro, I'm 26 years old doing this. And everybody else in the room I'm looking at is probably double my age. You know, like, I'm looking at parents and grandparents sitting out in the audience, and my 26-year-old ass is up in there filing bankruptcy to keep a car that, you know, that I should have let go. Like, I always regret that. Like, and anytime somebody asks me, I try not to think from my personal experience. I'm gonna get off my soapbox, but that's the reason why I filed. And you may have your own personal reasons, and it may be beneficial to you, but at the end of the day, consult with the lawyer. First, you need to find out if you even qualify, which a lawyer will be able to tell you. Find out which chapter is best for you, and the lawyer will be able to tell you that. Find out if your debts qualify, because not all debts qualify. Certain debts can't be wiped out by a bankruptcy, period. Doesn't matter. A bankruptcy just won't stop all debts. Consider the consequences before you file abruptly. Your credit score will tank 100 to 200 points. I think mine dropped at least like 150. It was like, it dropped drastically big time on all three. It was like 100 and something points it dropped. It's a public record, meaning that anybody can go and search it and see that you filed. So if you're a private person, baby, it's out there. You have a mandatory meeting with creditors, which is definitely public. That was a meeting that I was speaking on earlier where you have to go. And then after that, you don't have to go to any of the other meetings. I think your attorney and trustee, they pretty much handle everything else, because I only went to the meeting with creditors and that was it. And I don't think I had to go back anymore, but that was a very humbling situation, very embarrassing to say the least, but it is what it is. Yeah. So co-signers may be impacted. Creditors may start contacting them for payment if you file for bankruptcy. So you better be as fast as Sonic or be able to throw some hands, because baby, you go filing for bankruptcy and somebody didn't co-sign for something for you, and then that debt fault, like it already, they, was extending some grace to you to even let, co-sign for you, and then you file for bankruptcy, and now they got creditors and collections calling them, to collect on the payment that you're not. So you need to think about all this. High interest rates, lower limit credit cards. This is like while you're going through the process, it does get better after the fact, but initially, it will be harder when you're fresh out of a bankruptcy to, get credit, to get creditors to trust in you again. So yeah, it's just something to think about. Now, it's not all bad here. There are some pros. The automatic stay. I'll never forget that feeling of relief I felt when the automatic stay was in place. The moment you file your bankruptcy, you are protected from creditors. They cannot pursue you for any payments once you file. The automatic stay, getting that call from my lawyer to say the automatic stay was in place was like, it was that type of moment. Like, I felt so much relief. I could park the car back in the driveway again. I didn't have to leave it in the garage no more. Like, I wasn't having to look out the window, because the repo, he was driving his ass through the neighborhood routinely, baby. He was circling the block trying to catch me slipping. But I'm parking in the garage for safety purposes. It was supposed to hail that day, sir. So that's why the car was in the garage. I wasn't hiding it. I was protecting it from the weather. Yeah. So anyways, relief. Being underwater in debt can be so overwhelming. It can be so overwhelming. Filing bankruptcy gives you that relief. Like, you can breathe. You can breathe. And I don't care how old you are. The relief you get from not owing nobody nothing it's a good ass feeling. To no longer have nobody saying, your ass owe me $20, but you out here eating lobster. You're shopping, because it ain't nothing worse than somebody watching you make moves who you owe money to. Because they calculated how you got the money to do this, you ain't pay me back. That is so annoying to owe somebody. I could, like, owing a family member or a friend is very annoying. And a creditor, that is so aggravating. So the relief you get, I was able to keep my car. So you may be able to keep some assets depending on which chapter you file. Could prevent foreclosure or repossession. Like, in the reason why I filed initially was for repossession, to stop that. Some debts will be written off once the BK is discharged, which is also a great feeling. And then you get a fresh start. If you completely satisfy your bankruptcy, like if you file Chapter 13, you repay, you make your payments with the Chapter 13 until it's over. Because, you get on the repayment plan for like 3 to 5 years with Chapter 13, and then Chapter 7. Once that's discharged and done, you have a brand new clean slate. Now, you may have to work on getting some of those accounts removed off your report, and that bankruptcy is going to be there. Public record 10 years, unless you can get it removed, or unless they incorporate something to where it don't report on your credit report. It's just a public record. But, it's going to be there. Its impact will be there, and it will be a little hard to get, some decent rates when it comes to credit cards or, getting a car. So new loans, your interest rates may be higher because, the presence of the bankruptcy. But it tends to lighten up the older the bankruptcy gets, as far as the effects of not being able to, get the type of credit that you want when you first file bankruptcy or you're first discharged. But at the end of the day, do what's best for you. Because I did what I thought was best for me at the time, and my 32-year-old self now is like, was that really what was best, or were we just listening to mom and dad? And I think I'm gonna go with the latter, because I feel like I should have let it go. That's me. But it is what it is now. I try not to live in, I should have did this. I try not to live there, because I'll beat myself up if I do that. If I stay there too long, then I'll start to get upset that I did it. Because filing bankruptcy did affect a lot of things for me. And I was just young. I feel like I was too young. I feel like I was too young to do that. I should have had somebody say, no, let the damn car go. You can always get another car. Filing bankruptcy? No, ma'am. No. especially not to keep no damn car. No, you know, and not even one that you really, really want. Even though I loved their car at the time. No, I really wish somebody would have told me, no, let it go. But I needed it for work. It's just like, oh my God. But do what's best for you guys. Like, take what I say with a grain of salt because I'm not a bankruptcy attorney that, you know. So all I can do is give, you know, like some just, maybe you should do this, consider this though, but it will help with this. But at the end of the day, that bankruptcy lawyer can look at your income, your debt, and really help you figure out what's best for you, you know. So when it's all said and done, your mental health, your emotional well-being is so much more important than what anybody thinks about you filing bankruptcy. You have to do what you have to do, regardless if it's public record or not. At the end of the day, this is your life, and stress is something else. Okay, so we don't want stress about debt. Talk to a bankruptcy lawyer, consult with them. I think they're free. Maybe they're free. Filing bankruptcy, I don't even think, how much was it when I filed? It was like $2 something to file Chapter 13. The filing fee was like $252. It was like $250. It was something. It was $2 something to file in Mississippi. And I'm pretty sure that varies. What? I'm pretty sure that varies state by state. But no, I'm pretty sure that varies state by state. So definitely consult with a lawyer. So, but I do wish you all the best. For those of you that are even having to consider bankruptcy, I promise you it will get better. Life will get better. You may have to go through this little tough storm, you know, for this short amount of time. And it may seem like a long ass time too. I'm telling you, the storm seems like it's so long. And you'll be wondering, like, will I ever see the sunshine again? And it can literally be sunshine outside. But y'all know what I mean when you have a cloud over you and it feels like nothing is going right and it's just like one thing after the other. I've been there. I know that feeling. I know what it feels like to be stuck in your head about something and just confused and lost. And you want to give up and you want to scream, you know, and it's just also overwhelming. But don't give up on yourself and stop beating yourself up. I promise you are beating yourself up more than anybody else could. Living in here and being so consumed about what other people may or may not think about your financial situation. Everybody has been broke before. I don't care what nobody says. Everybody has been through some type of struggle before where they ain't have it. And we've all had to, you know, have to face some type of harsh reality and just have to have that talk with ourselves. Like, this is going to be the last year I'm going through some shit like this. This is going to be the last year where I'm broke. This is going to be the last year where I'm asking for handouts. This is going to be the last year where I'm sleeping in somebody's house, sleeping on a couch. This gonna be the last year I'm sleeping in my car. This gonna be the last year I'm whatever the case may be. Like, this it for all that type of shit. It's time out for that. Like, I'm about to get myself together. You know, like, you gotta have one of them talks with yourself, because a lot of times ain't nobody gonna have that type of talk with you. This ain't the time where you need to hear it's gonna be all right. No. Even though it will eventually get better. You ain't trying to hear that shit when you going through something. You trying to figure out solutions. And sometimes bankruptcy is a solution to some people's problems. Is it the solution for all? No. Sometimes it's a solution for most, not all. But when you're so far under water, you know, you just smothered in debt, you have to do what's best for you. At the end of the day, it's your life. And I used to care and used to be concerned about what people would think if they find out. But it's like, bro, I don't care. You know, like, I don't care no more now. Like, I did what I had to do, and my life is completely turned around, you know, since doing that. And I'll never, God forbid, like, I'll never have to do that again. Like, ever have to do that again. But when you're going through stuff, like, bro, you just want relief. So at the end of the day, guys, do what's best for you. If you have any questions about the process that I didn't hit on in the video, just leave a comment below and I'll answer. But yeah, peace and love to all of you. I hope you guys are doing well and taking care of yourselves.
Because I can see us holding hands, walking on the beach, our toes in the sand. I can see us on the countryside, sitting on the grasslands.